Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Chef Jourdan-Cha'Taun, and you are now tuned in to Chefish. Today, I have my girl, Chef Tregaye Wright. Gotta get that right. Gotta get that right, freshly married over here. But yes, Chef Tregaye is a private chef, caterer, and Food Network star. Actually, just a food television star in general, because she's worked in multiple networks. And you actually started out in the kitchen with aspirations because of your grandma.
Mm-hmm.
She always felt that her grandma's plates were like heaven on a plate. And that pretty much stuck with her, right?
Yep.
And so ultimately she went to Le Cordon Bleu. And then she started working her way up through kitchens throughout Atlanta.
Yep.
Because we'll get into that. I have to draw it out. I can't give you guys all the sauce. You know what I'm saying? She got to be able to provide the game. So let me reel it in. Okay. So from there, from your Food Network television days and working with the OWN network, it brings you to now. Yeah. Right? This is where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Really now.
And so for those out there, my chefies that are wondering, me and Chef Tregaye know each other because of a mutual chef friend named Erin out in Los Angeles, California. So, hey, girl, hey. And so we've been able to create a really solid relationship.
Yeah.
I admire so many things about her. And so I'm super happy to have her here. And so since I told them a little bit about you, you tell me about you and how you ended up in the kitchen.
I mean, what's so funny is when I first, just thought about working and in the field and doing anything, I actually wanted to be a brain surgeon at first.
But that's a big change.
Huge, right? But then I realized how long I had to go to school, right?
Yes.
Then how long I have to be a regular doctor before I can be a brain surgeon. So immediately no for me. Immediately no. And, honestly, I started working because, aspirations of what I want. I wanted a cell phone. My grandmother said, if you want a cell phone, you got to get a job.
Okay.
So I became a housekeeper. I hated it.
Okay.
I hated every second of it.
I actually was a housekeeper for a little while too.
Hated every second of it. But I used to sneak into the kitchen all the time, and the chef would be in there like cooking. And, I love cooking at home with my grandmother too. But so I started cooking personally with my grandmother, but professionally it was from that hotel because the chef finally let me start moonlighting and working into the kitchen. Now I just fell in love with food in general because my grandmother, let me tell you something, she don't play. She's cooking. There's never any leftovers. I literally would walk into the house, drop my book bag, close my eyes, and just try to imagine and just guess whatever it is I'm smelling. Because it was different every day.
So that's what you meant by heaven on a plate.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it was heaven on a plate because you just never knew what it was going to be. It was always something beautiful. I really loved how she would take ingredients and just try to figure out how many ways she manipulate that ingredient, which is where my food style came from, period. Because that's what I do. I manipulate everyday food.
Birth through your grandma.
Birth through my grandma.
Okay.
Like, I remember one time she went through this jerk chicken phase.
Okay.
Not jerk chicken, jerk marinade.
Okay.
So one time it's like, okay, we had jerk meatloaf. All in 1 week. Jerk meatloaf, jerk wings, jerk burgers, jerk everything, jerk spaghetti. My dad was like, okay, listen, we're going to have to slow it down.
Slow it on down.
But it was just beautiful because it was her way to see food differently and how she could manipulate that food. So that's what got me excited about it.
Okay, so beyond that, it sounds like you were giving us a little taste already about where your whole love for food started. And I love it that you said it's with your grandma because mine is with my grandma too. And she was born in 1923, born on a farm, never had a microwave. Dinner was ready at 4 p.m. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I totally understand that connection. Yeah. And so it's a beautiful thing that you've been able to create this entire life.
Yeah.
And so from there, you went to Le Cordon Bleu. So did you work around restaurants in Atlanta, or
I did.
How did you end up in Le Cordon Bleu? Because it's different from cooking with our grandma and then going and cooking for real.
Right. So you remember I was working at that hotel and that lady let me work in the kitchen. Well, I got good at it.
What hotel? We didn't hear about
so
that.
I was a housekeeper.
The Chefies did not
because
hear about that.
I was a housekeeper. So remember I said I was a housekeeper.
Yes, but
it was at a
what
hotel. So I was at the Hilton. Was it the Hilton?
See,
yes, the Hilton
so
Garden
they had
Inn
money.
in Decatur. The Hilton Garden Inn in Decatur is where I was.
They had money. Okay?
No,
living in the hotel. Okay?
I did. I just worked there. So
no, but I'm saying that's a
it was an upper echelon hotel, but I didn't feel upper echelon.
But you
didn't
tell us. See, that's the added spice that we need. You know what I'm saying?
So from there, I worked at that Hilton Hotel as a housekeeper. Got out of that, got into the kitchen. Anyway, I got better than the chef. I got so good, I was fired. Okay.
Okay.
I don't say that about myself. Everybody was saying it about me. So anyway, I told her, I said, well, I think I'm gonna go to school for this. I think this is what I want to do. I've decided because it's time for me to graduate high school now. I need to figure out what I want to do. And she looked at me and said, I don't know why. Because, it's not like you're going to finish and graduate.
Okay, so, so I always say whatever happens is preparation for what's to come. Mm-hmm. And then there's always like that this is it moment. Yeah. And so for you, it kind of sounds like it was a 2-part of that moment. Mm-hmm. And so when she said that, did that fuel you
absolutely.
More?
If you want me to,
yeah,
absolutely.
I can't do it.
If you want me to do something, just tell me I can't. I went and graduated top of my class, came back to tell her, but she had got fired. So long story short, I ended up, I'm fresh out of college, and I'm like, yeah, everybody gonna hire me, right? I'm out of college. I went to Le Cordon Bleu.
Le Cordon Bleu.
I'm a graduate.
Le Cordon Bleu.
Everybody's hiring me. I'm a graduate.
Wait, but are you trying to tell me that you weren't a chef when you graduated from Le Cordon
nobody
Bleu?
wanted to hire me, but like Waffle House.
But you weren't a chef, right?
No, I wasn't a chef yet.
No, because
I was a graduate, a culinary student.
But so when you go to culinary art school, that doesn't mean that you're a chef, right?
No, it's your experience that makes you a chef.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people are missing that. And so see, for us, we get it, and sometimes we gotta just for you guys, my chefies out there, the people tuned in.
Yeah.
For the Instagram chefs.
Yeah.
You can't replace time and experience.
Right. You can't go to electrician school, like the 2-year program they have. Right. And then graduate and say you're a full-on electrician. No. I don't think it would work for you.
You couldn't go.
Right. You get sued a lot.
Light up a building.
You get sued a lot.
Yeah, literally light up the building.
So what I'm saying is, right out of school, I'm like, yeah, this is what I thought. Nobody would hire me. So I said, well, I got to figure this out. I've always taken life into my own hands. So I went to 5th Group and Buckhead Life Restaurants, which is now American Bowl. Okay. And at the time, they were one of the top catering facilities in Atlanta. Okay. And so I said, look, I really wanted that job at the Marriott. You know the Marriott by Lenox, the big tall glass Marriott building? Yes. I don't know why, girl, but I wanted to work at that Marriott so bad. So I was like, but they wouldn't hire me.
It was a seed.
So I was like, okay, can you just please let me work here? This is American Bowl. And I'm like, just let me work here for 3 months so I can put this on my resume, so I can have a good place on my resume. And then they'll hire me. So it ended up happening. They ended up wanting to hire me, but I got the job at the Marriott. So that's one jewel period. If you want it, you have to get it. If you can want it in the way you want it, you have to get it, right? I could have easily said, damn, ain't nobody gonna hire me. Well, I guess I gotta work at Waffle House. Fuck that. I want to work somewhere nice. So I'm gonna, if that means I gotta invest in myself by working for free, it's not really free. I'm gaining knowledge. I'm gaining relationships. I'm gaining so much. So I really wasn't working for free.
Well, they were giving me so much. Is that you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And beyond you have to start somewhere. Yeah. You also have to do the fucking work.
You got to do the work. You got to bet on yourself first, right? You got to stand on that. And that's where all y'all out there, if you give up on yourself, you'll give up on anything and anybody.
Because most people are going to try to dampen your light. They don't, it's not even that. Now, some of them don't want you to shine. But sometimes people don't know how to shine themselves. So they can't tell you, and they're so used to believing that they can't do something that it's easy for them to tell you what you can't do because they ain't never fuver did it.
Yeah. I done got it deep out the mud, and I'm gonna tell you this, this whole microwave chef thing, right? This whole I'm gonna wake up one morning and I'm supposed to be famous, right? I got black gloves on, and I'm like this famous chef because I cook for the Real Housewives of Atlanta for free, right? So I'm a celebrity chef now, but that's not really how that goes, right?
Right. Tell it.
I think there are different categories of chef.
Yes.
Right? I think a celebrity chef is a chef that is actually
on
television.
With their own show, networks
with
behind
your
them.
own show or hosting a show, not competing.
Not in the background.
Not competition either.
Not competition, because a lot of those people really can't cook.
Yeah, not competition. You have to be a host of your own show, a judge on a show, or known for your food reviews as a huge restaurateur, right? Then that is like a celebrity chef.
Right.
Just a chef is, I mean, you don't even have to go to school to be a chef
these days. You don't have to go to school to be a chef anyway.
I don't think you have to go to school to be a chef anyway.
But you can't replace time and experience.
But you must have, if you haven't gone to school, you must have staged, meaning you have worked under someone great.
Time and experience.
Someone amazing. And
Not
you have done it for
Waffle
some
House.
time. Right. No.
Now,
like a great chef.
Don't get me wrong with Waffle House. Listen, y'all.
Don't hate on the Waffle House chefs.
But that's not what we're talking about.
Right. Because
Right.
Waffle House chef's good. Now, I don't know about you that could just remember all them orders.
No,
Y'all don't realize
that's
nothing's
why
in the computer.
that's
They
why I
remember. They're remembering
heard-
all of those orders.
Y'all heard me. I corrected myself.
Yeah.
I corrected myself.
That's hard work.
But we are talking about two totally different things.
We're talking about two totally different things. They're two different calibers of chef.
And so now let's get into the main course, right? So you attained that job at the hotel, and then where did you go from there, and how did you transition into the catering and television? Like, how did this it all kind of connect? So how did you get there?
So, of course, from there I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm getting into the corporate world, and then I moved to Florida, and I work at the JW Marriott Ritz-Carlton Buckhead down there.
So you liked working for hotels? It
was amazing. I like working for hotels because you got a different experience.
Yeah.
It was a melting pot of people.
Right.
Even in Florida. I mean, there were people coming over from Korea and Japan that were on visa, from all over. So I'm learning real cultural foods. Cuisine. Like, I'm really learning this stuff. And like, I'm able to be in different departments, right? So I'm able to learn banquets. I'm able to learn how to do a big party, numbers. I'm able to also do fine dining. I'm able to do breakfast. I'm able to be experienced in every aspect of chefing.
So don't sleep on the hotel.
I love the hotel business for that. I think that if you're training to be a great chef, the hotel business is great for you because you're going to get so much experience.
I started out at the Andaluca inside of the Mayflower Park Hotel in Seattle, Washington. Yeah. So exactly what you said. It was kind of like school out, because I was going to culinary when I started. So then it was like the real work. But what I liked about that also is being able to be trained in cooking in volume. Right. Because one day you go in and your prep sheet is 250 people. That's just for lunch. And then you got to move on to
a 1,000-person banquet.
A 1,000-person banquet, black tie. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you want to work front of the house and get the hostess checks or the wait checks. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. I love that about hotels. Please don't sleep on it. Very good teachers.
I mean, I was
excellent
in there all the way up to the end. My last place, I moved from Florida. And when I moved from Florida, I was going through a transitional change personally, and it was a quick move, and it's like, well, where am I going to work? So I called, and so stop waiting for people to like call you back for a resume, please. So I called Sundial.
I call it head hunting.
Yeah.
You got to headhunt.
Yeah.
People aren't always, sometimes people don't know that they need you.
That's it. I filled out the application, but I also called and I was like, hey, can I speak to, think of who you should speak to, right? So for me, I would think I should speak to the executive chef. Right. Hey, can I speak to the executive chef of the Sundial? Called him for 2 days. I finally got him on the phone. And then I was like, hey, I'm going to be in Georgia next week. I live in Florida. I'll be there for like 4 days. I would love to come in and get an interview. I filled out the application, but I'm trying to do this a little quick. I have amazing experience. And if you just give me a chance, like, I just like to come in. He was like, well, the fact that you called me in the middle of the day,
for 2 days,
you should just come on over
for 2 days. What'd you say your name was? I never heard of a Tregaye
I did get
before.
a message from you the other day. Come on in. So I came in, sat down, spoke to him, told him who I was, what I was about. I got the job. And that's when I started working for the Westin Peachtree Plaza downtown, and the Sundial sits on top. It's the 6th tallest restaurant in the world. Yeah. Fine dining, amazing food. I learned a lot there, but that was where the change began for me.
The change.
Yeah, because, in Florida,
So this is the pivot.
Yeah, this is the pivot.
Or is this the pivot, or is this where you were like,
I'm just not that corporate.
No.
This is when I
feel like there's
realized
a moment when you progress in your chef
Mm-hmm.
industry, when you transition onto
Mm-hmm.
either working with high profile clientele or finding out that you want to be in some capacity in front of the camera.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like you woke up.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is not it, but I know what it is.
Yeah.
And so you manifested the next part.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just said, I woke up one day and I just said, I realized I'm just not that corporate. I remember it's funny because I went there last night for dinner with my husband. I rarely go back, but when I went, everybody was there. It was a beautiful moment. I will talk about that later. But, I would go there, and I remember when I finally just decided, I got a banquet done for them, and it was worth over $2 million. I'm like, shit, that could have been my money. Right. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just not that corporate. I'm just realizing, I'm hitting a ceiling. And then I'm looking at all my bosses, and I'm like, they've hit a ceiling. Look at him. He looks tired. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't ever want to fall out of love with food. Right. I want to always find ways to just make love to it. Like a relationship, right?
Oh, do it the right way.
It's like a marriage. You have to continue to, in a marriage, people think that marriage is just last. No, you have to keep dating each other. Mm-hmm. Keep loving each other. Find ways to, okay, well, we used to do this. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? I want to have that relationship with food. I can't do that here, right? So I woke up one day and I said, okay, well, and I'm tired of feeling bad about being here. So I decided to put in my head that this is great being here because these checks are funding my dream. I need these checks so that I can have my dream. So I got to come here and I got to work every day. It's for the next step. Right. And then I got up and I went on Instagram and I found a few chefs. I said, I'm just
Instagram.
I said, I'm going to start finding some friends, that are like-minded like me. That's when I found Ponder, Aleem, Stu.
Shout out to Aleem.
Harper. And we did this thing called the Chef's Rounds Table. And we all got up, and Chef Rod, and we all got up and we met together. It was just beautiful. And then maybe later down the road, Chef Ponder hit me and was like, hey.
I don't know who that is.
Chef Ponder was on Chopped and he was on Top Chef. Okay. But he hit me and was like, hey, you want to do the Great Food Truck Race? So I'm like, yeah, this is the pivot. So I'm like, hell yeah. But we didn't make it. They said we were all too good. But they called me back. They said they really loved me. Now, mind you,
something about that face.
When I worked at corporate for a long time, I thought this is where I belong. But then until I realized they kept taking my recipes, not putting my name on the menu, talking about me. My chef used to tell people, he didn't know I knew this, but I did, that I was too loud, ghetto, had too many tattoos, and I was uncouth, is what he said. So I said, okay, that's cool. And I looked up to him, so it really hurt my feelings.
But you're a carefree Black girl.
Yeah, I'm very carefree, so it hurt my feelings, but it's okay. So I went out, and Cutthroat Kitchen called me back. I won. So in my hotel room, I remember being in there that night.
Hold on. She just, okay, so Cutthroat Kitchen called you.
They called me. They said Cutthroat Kitchen and Guys Grocery Gang called me. I went to Guys Grocery Gangs with my siblings. We didn't win. We made it to the end. I came back for a redemption and won $14K. And then I went to Cutthroat Kitchen and won $20K. So when I'm in my hotel room that night, I remember thinking, why? God kept talking to me and saying, call him. I heard it clear as day. And I was like, why? I don't want to call him. And he just kept saying, call him. And so I called my chef and I was like, Chef, I won, feeling like, When I got back, he had a banner for me in the kitchen, a full buffet, the general managers, all the big wigs from the hotel congratulated me. And from that day forward, he told everybody, he taught me everything I know.
Oh, no.
He would bring his pastors, friends, family. Like I was like kind of like, he's showing me off. This is the same man that said all this stuff about me. It didn't hurt me. It actually was very funny to me, and it tickled me because I was like, I won. I love to make you say I win without me making you say it. And, so for me, I was just moving forward.
That's cute, but
I loved it. It was great for me.
Hey, you're gonna have to say my name.
He says my name all the time now. He loves saying my name.
But without attaching yourself to it. And it's funny that we kind of brought this up, right? Mm-hmm. So because you have worked in restaurants, because it's totally different when you're your own boss and you're doing the catering. You know what I'm saying? People are answering to you. Yeah. But this also plays a part is, how did you feel in the kitchen as a woman? Like, what was that experience?
It was very hard. The thing of being good. I mean, 9 times out of 10, like, I could speak for myself. I was the fucking best.
The best.
Right? But then there were guys in there who weren't even half as good as me. But They were either a man.
No, they were a man.
It's in the hotel industry.
Were they white?
A white man.
White.
A white man. You know what I'm saying? And so it was just like that trumped everything.
And if you were a white girl, you was better too.
Or if you was a black Oreo, it was great for them because that's who came in and took my position.
Me. I like how she just said
I'm just
that
being
about
honest.
Me.
Not you. No, because your personality is not of that. That's a personality.
It's really not.
It's a thing. That is
when I open that mouth.
Oreo does not mean just no. That don't need her because her mama and daddy black. She's just
but I don't try to be. But I don't try to be palatable to other people.
Yeah. So it's just she was just. I don't know. That's another conversation. So but
it's a real conversation because so
I didn't understand it. Like I came in just because I was a little rough around the edges or whatever, but I was good,
Yeah.
And so, but that taught me something, and I learned that, and it helped me in my TV world, TV life. We don't want to change all the time, but we do have to adjust. And I had to learn to adjust. She learned that before me, so that was
we have to know to soften.
She learned that before me. So see, a lot of times we'll get angry about it, like, oh, she Oreo, but really she just learned that before me. She learned she had to adjust for what she wanted to do. Right. She wants to be in corporate. She wants to be an executive chef at hotels, which she still is to this day.
Oreo is not just complexion.
And it's also, it's a way of life. And it's conforming. You know what I'm saying? So that's
what
she wanted to do. But some
people don't know that because I didn't necessarily fully understand what you meant because I just thought it was just we was light. That part of it.
It's just the way you carry yourself. It's just a way of, it's just a certain way,
I'm not
about you. So it's like she went in and she would kiss ass. She would do things that she hated because she knew that that's what would get her there. I'm not doing that.
To get
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I had to also learn, even though I'm not going to do those kind of things, I still have to adjust. It took me time to learn that. It did.
To soften a little bit.
I didn't know that at first. I was told it, but I didn't give a fuck about it. Like, I didn't want to do it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until we care.
Right. And so
it could bother you.
Right. So I had to care and I had to pull my shit together. And then also, I just knew that that's not where I went. I just feel like I needed bigger. And I used to walk around and say, it's all right because I'm a star. You're going to see me all over TV. I'm a star. I'm just really here preparing for my stardom. Everybody laughed at me. They thought it was so funny.
And then you went on to win.
And then I went on to be a star. So
star literally was, because I think when I say it, even when I say it, it doesn't register that Star was the name of the Food Network television show that you went on to win as a black woman.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you spent your career with people basically trying to make you feel like you had to work 10 times harder for everyone else, and also that it was something wrong with it.
Like it was something wrong with me.
Everything, how you carry yourself. I feel like people in general try to make black women feel uncomfortable because our light just shines so brightly.
It's like you're good, but something's wrong with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like your food is amazing, but we're not talking about the food, which it should be about that. But
right,
it's about everything.
But
though.
Even if it isn't about that, it's a way you go about doing it. And so a lot of times within any industry, I feel like we as black women go through things where we're not treated fairly.
Yeah.
And then so it's like we have to build a thick skin, but then also be soft and gentle enough to actually get sometimes what we need to get done, and also working in those spaces where Oreo is the only language.
Yeah.
Right?
And also learning to just be your own gatekeeper. We always think that they're the gatekeepers, whoever that person you think is that has the power over what it is you're trying to do.
They don't.
You can be your own gatekeeper, because look at me. That guy was who I thought was my gatekeeper to send me to the next level, but now he, to this day, calling me to see if he can work with me and called me back to do a judging. The other chef who laughed at me when I said I was going to be a chef in the Marriott.
We never forget.
He wanted to be honest with me though. And he wanted to tell me like, I'm sorry, I laughed at you, but you did it. I see you everywhere.
Yeah. So, it's okay for a little bit of titty to show. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't selling puss in plates, but just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That puss in plates. Anyway. Let's get into it. Okay. Let's get into this.
Oh, God.
So when you became a star. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you actually became the star of the show The Star on the Food Network, that was season 12, right?
That was season 12.
So check that out. That's why Hope you guys heard that, Chefies.
That was season 12. Actually, towards the end of that sundial experience, you know, the chef kind of
with the racist hater.
Mm-hmm.
The race. So just in
now
case,
my best friend.
Oh well, sorry, but you was racist. She's better than me, but see, because I couldn't figure out. I was like, was he black or was he white? He was a white man, and so, anyways, we'll delve into that before the exit if we got time, because really we're talking about how you won as the star, first black woman to win. What? Okay. Beyond you telling me how that happened, who hooked you up to the shows after the truck thing, tell me really what that experience was like. Start in the beginning.
Literally, I mean, I'll start even before we started recording. I manifested the entire thing.
Manifestation. Well, you kept saying you were going to be a star.
I manifested it. I manifested my whole life, but definitely that for sure.
So did I.
Yeah. So it started where, like, okay, at this point I put in my 2-week notice. I'm done working at the spot. I've already done Cutthroat Kitchen Guys grocery games, but I was sitting at home in my bed one day and I saw Food Network start season 11. And I saw a couple of people that I competed with on Cutthroat and Guys. And I was like, what the fuck? Why wouldn't they call me? But then I was like, it's okay. They're going to call me, and I'm not filling out that 30-page application. They're just going to call me.
Right.
Well, a week later, Food Network star, beat Bobby Flay, Cutthroat Kitchen, and Guys grocery game all called me within 2 days.
I thought you was too rough around the edges.
You know.
I thought you were ghetto.
You know. They like that ghetto shit. So, and then from there, of course, I'm going to choose Food Network star. You get a job, right?
Because we are the culture.
Yeah. Yeah. So I come in, I created a whole culture, but we'll get to that on that show. But we'll get to that. So I go on and I'm like, okay, cool. So they're like, well, we need to see your wardrobe, or you can wear what we got. But you know, I'm going to wear my own stuff. And I remember I was broke as fuck. I ain't have any money. My bills was late as shit.
Tell it.
And I was just like at this store in this boutique, and I saw this black dress. And I said to myself, man, I got to get that dress. But it was $500, right? So I was like, damn, I got this bill. Let me see, 500. But if I move this, but I can do. Fuck it. Give me the dress. So I bought the dress. Turned the dress in.
Because you knew you were going to win.
Yeah. And I turned the dress into producers and I said, hey, this is the dress that I'm going to wear when I win. So make sure you put this picture in there. So she sent the laughing emoji back. She thought, I don't know why everybody thinks I'm so funny. So she says this laughing emoji back. It's like, I love your spirit. Well, that is the dress that I wore when I won.
Yes.
But fast forward before then, I get onto the show and I'm already walking into this arena knowing that I'm different. There are no urban people on the network, period.
Yeah.
So none. I'm coming in and listen, I'm from
Philly. They lack the flavor.
I'm from Georgia by way of Philly. So I got the Philly in me, and then I got the Atlanta, Georgia in me. And if the Atlanta take over a little more, so I'm a little country,
now look,
a little ratchet,
I love Atlanta, but I love Philly though.
Yeah. So I got a mix of both. You know what I mean?
What's up, Philly?
Yeah, that's my hometown. What's up, Philly? What's up? So for me, it's like, okay, all right, I just need to come on here and be myself. But then I'm like, myself, might be too much. I was very afraid. But I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to be myself. But
that was self-doubt
for
planted in your head from other people.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I get on there and I come in, but I'm like, I'm going to just be myself. So we had to do a cold open the first episode. And this made the whole show.
What's a cold open for?
So the cold open is where it's like the introduction to your show. So we had to do like the introduction to our shows. Yeah. Whatever show we thought we would want that show to be. Okay. So I'm like, what's up? I'm Chef Tregaye. And
it sounds like what? And do we all do the same?
Yeah. And I'm like, and we gonna keep it cute. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Or whatever. So when I was done, Giada was like,
who's Giada? For those
from
that
Food
don't
Network
know.
Star from Food Network.
Giada, the Italian. Yes. Okay.
She goes, Bobby Flay from Food Network and Giada were the judges. So Giada goes, you know what? You kind of remind me of like a caricature. Which to me was like, what the fuck, right? So I'm like, okay. So I went back. But that
sells though.
But I went back and changed myself because I wanted to win. Like this is the first thing. I don't want to go home yet. You know, maybe should I change it up? So I go back and I'm changing. I'm like, hi, I'm Chef Tregaye.
Oh no.
And da-da-da-da-da. Now, this is the pivotal part. We go to the theater because this is the final thing. Right. So we go out. I knew my food was going to be straight.
Right.
My food is, fuck that. It's good.
But you were having an identity crisis.
But I was having an anxiety feeling because we had to watch it on the big screen. It was the largest movie theater in LA. And they had invited some guests, and Tyler Florence from Food Network was there, Bobby Flay and Giada. And they're sitting in the front, and it's like 40 people. And
there's some heavy hitters just to watch TV. You.
And so I'm just like, and it's like they made me go last. It's almost like they knew that I fucked up, right? Because they made me go last. And so this comes up on this big movie screen, and it's me. And I got to watch myself step outside of myself. I cried so bad, booger tears. Booger snot. Like, I was crying so bad, and it wasn't even an elimination round. The producers were like, it's not even an elimination round. Like,
right.
It's okay. I was like, no. Because I told myself that I would never allow anyone, and when I got here, I wasn't going to let y'all make me change me and step outside of myself. And I feel like I let what she said to me change me. And I got to watch it on this big screen. I would never let that happen to me again. I would never. So she was like, it's okay. And I was like, I know. Just give me my moment. Because I just was. So we ended up going to.
But that's great. You were crying. They loved it.
I cried bad. Yeah.
They loved it.
So we ended up doing the final thing.
Right.
And Giada was like, Tregaye, what happened? Like, you were like different. Tyler, she was so spunky the other day. And I was like, well, you told me I looked like I was like a caricature. And to me, like, I'm here to get a job, and this is serious for me.
Right.
I didn't know if I needed to switch it up, but don't worry, it won't happen again. And she was like, well, you just showed me that you can't even pretend to be someone else. So just be yourself. And I won almost every competition after that.
Love
and I
it.
won.
So she reinforced that.
She reinforced that it's actually, okay.
Well, and also is actually your greatest gift.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be myself. It's fine. But it was just residue left over from all the years of being in corporate. Chefs telling me I wasn't never going to be nothing. Putting me down as that woman in the kitchen and working hard, not knowing what I'm working for. All that had came back at that time, but I had to wash that away,
Right. But you know what? Sometimes people don't know how simple it is to plant a seed in your head that like affects how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself. Because I had went through that 80-pound weight loss transformation, and I was only able to do it when I changed my self-talk.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we don't have the words all the time to express to other people how it's like, I don't like, don't,
Right.
and sometimes we have to verbalize that. And a lot of times we in these spaces we've been taught to kind of suppress, and we don't always know how to articulate how we're feeling besides it being aggressive or strong, and so it's kind of conveying, you know what, that hurt me actually, but it's just so simple to plant that seed. So I think that that's a beautiful thing that she was able to like hear you and then reassure you, like, no, like, this is great, this is great.
I wasn't saying it in a bad way, you know what I mean? It was just like,
but I'm happy you got that, because if you wouldn't have gotten that moment, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's really, really important. Yeah. That's an important moment.
Yeah, it was a super important moment. And I find myself reliving things over and over again, right? Because you remember when I told you, I was in school, and then I got out of school, and then I thought everybody was going to hire me, right? So now I'm like Food Network star.
Right.
I'm a fucking star.
Right.
Right?
Do you know who I am?
I'm about to be on all the shows.
Yeah.
Shit. I got to learn the game real quick.
Yeah.
This TV world is a different world.
It's tricky.
I want to say a couple of things to you guys out there before I even get into this story is, start supporting your women and your Black women on these networks and things like that. Tuning in. Yes. You know what? Even if you're not going to be there, just run your TV. Okay? Have it on demand to where it just comes on. Whatever you need to do, tell your family, tell your friends, because the reason why our shows don't last is because you're not watching.
You're not supporting us.
And then what happens is later on, the other chefs are like, fuck Food Network, fuck these big corporations. Well, it doesn't really have to be like that, because see, what I did was I came through, kicked that door open for you. Yeah. And I'm trying to make room for all y'all to come in behind me, but you're making me look bad. Right. You got to understand, like, when I'm here now, I became the first African-American woman to win Food Network Star. That shouldn't be. There should be more of us winning Food Network Star. So when I come in and win Food Network Star, right? And then I have all these shows. If you're not supporting them, watching them, and making those ratings go through the roof,
you don't have them anymore.
You're now not going to have room to be the next Black woman to win Food Network Star, because the networks are going to be like, it didn't work.
It doesn't sell.
It doesn't sell.
And it was so hard to even be thought about in the room.
Right. So that's why you're now saying, oh, forget these big networks. No. Support us. If you support us, you really don't understand that you're supporting yourself. Because if you show them like, wow, oh my God, like this girl with her spunk and all.
Right.
her Southern cooking, the way she is and
Philly.
how she is, her
Atlanta.
Philly twang and her Atlanta twang, and all that can literally come in here and the ratings are through the fucking roof. We need more of them.
Right.
But if it's crickets and y'all not watching, y'all are closing the doors on yourself. So I really wanted to say that. That was important to me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
that was
appreciate
important to me.
I appreciate
because
it.
even with after that, I got into it and it was very hard. I'm thinking I'm gonna get all the shows. They gave me some leftover show from the kitchen and called it the kitchen sink,
yeah.
which was really a show that was supposed to be a spinoff from the kitchen. So that was causing a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
And then that we left that and I just was doing judging and hosting and judging and hosting.
Okay, so but from there you ended up being the first food thought show on the OWN network.
Yes.
And so what was the difference? First of all, I think that when we talked about you winning the star show, wasn't that culturally it was a big thing, but didn't you experience some things online that were really hard? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, when I first won, that's why I need the support of my people.
What happened?
I won Food
online?
Network Star, first African American to ever win that show. I made history. I'm going to be in the history book. When I die, I'm in the history book. And so at the end of the day, I didn't have all my family, my people, my family members, yes, but like my black people community supporting me. It was more so 1,000 different negative comments.
Right.
It was 1,000 negative comments. And
so
we
you
had just had media training and they
though,
told us not to read them. But I was reading some of them because I thought it was funny. But
essentially what you're saying is you dealt with racism.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh my God, look at her hair.
I like to put a word,
look at her.
Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
You
look
dealt
at her
with a lot
hair.
of racism.
How is she cooking with the hair? Well, it's a lot of other chefs that are Caucasian that have long hair.
Right.
You're not saying nothing. But it's because my hair is big and curly and Afro-like. Is that a problem now? But this lady's hair is down to her chest and she's bending over, stirring the pot.
Right.
What's the difference? Like, oh God. Like, it was so many bad comments and I would just be looking like, damn, that's crazy. Because I'm going to put myself all in your face. Oh, well, you know what I mean? But it was horrible at the beginning.
Right.
And I just had to not worry about it.
I try to stay away from comment sections.
Yeah.
If I don't know you personally, I do not engage with the trolls on social media.
Yeah. I had to also be okay with that break moment because there's a moment where it could be years where you don't do a show, right? So I need everybody also to stop thinking that just because you get a TV show, you don't have to do anything else. Listen, by the time you watch it on TV, we spent that check months ago.
Well, but plus,
you know what I mean?
It happened 2 years ago.
It happened. I don't know how long ago we've been
2 to 4 years ago.
So we have to keep it going, and it's not always just a keep it going type of moment. Right. Even if you have season after season, you have a block of open time, so you always have to TV is just a marketing for your brand and who you are. Like when you get a show, your goal should not be like, your goal is obviously to have more shows, right? But your ultimate goal should be to build your brand up. Like, what can I do? Because now people know me, right?
Right.
So that's where, Duff Goldman told me one time, we were in Nigeria and he said to me, Duff Goldman is from Food Network. He does all the baking.
Okay.
And we were in Nigeria doing an event and I said, Duff, I've been on a little break from TV and I'm doing catering and stuff, but it's like, what did you do?
But first of all, entrepreneurship is the ghetto. And so whoever hasn't told y'all, and there's this big misconception, run your own business, open your own business. Oh, yeah,
it's hard.
You're not going to be working 8 hours a day anymore. You're going to be working 12, 17, 24 hours a day, sacrificing a personal life. So what you're talking about, I call it between clients.
Absolutely.
I'm between a check right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And you need to always be figuring that out. And I remember he told me, I said, so what do you do? It was a sad time. TV is addicting.
Yes.
It's very addictive.
Oh, the light shined on you. You want it more.
It's very addictive. Not only that, it's the light, and it's also, for me anyway, I get so excited because like millions of people are going to get to learn about my food. Like I really, it's my goal to teach people to see food different.
Okay.
And then it's like, for me not to be able to do that, it's like, what the fuck? It makes me scared. And I'm just like, oh man, what's next?
Right.
So from there, it's like, what do I do? And I said, Duff, so what did you do? Because, he had that cake show for years.
Yes.
And then they cut it off and now he's back.
Right.
After 10 years, he's back.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, what did you do? And he was like, I did what got me on TV in the first place. I started making cakes.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I came out with a knife line, a spice line, a clothing line. I came up with a whole merch line. I wrote a book. Now, these things keep me going in between.
Well, but I feel like we're skipping a few steps because we're definitely going to get there. But
Yeah.
I really want to talk about the differences between the Food Network and OWN Network, because Tregaye's Way was a really big thing. And so I think that kind of marries into what you were talking about, where you need us to tune in. You need us watching, because they essentially were testing things out.
Absolutely.
They were testing things out.
Yeah.
And so what were the differences?
You know, at that time, I finally was getting my shows. And, you know, for the longest, I was waiting for Food Network. That's my first family.
Right.
To give me a show. But actually, OWN put in the bid first.
Bid in.
But then Food Network
came
behind them. And they said, well, we got a show for you. It's called Cake-a-Likes, which was fucking weird because I just... You know, Oprah just told me that she wouldn't give me a show, right? So I'm like, oh, shit. You know, I got them both at the same time.
Two networks.
So now Food Network's like, it was almost like they was racing to do my show before I did her show. So I did my show for Food Network first, even though OWN asked me first. So I flew out, did the show.
Oh, so you did Cake-a-Like before Tregaye's Way aired?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I did that. And then after that, it was kind of, that's it. And then after that, it was time now to shoot on one of the two. So at the end, I just remember getting a call from Ia. She's a network. Shout out Ia. She's works with the network, and she was like, you know, Tregaye, I'm with OWN now, and you know, Lady O is coming out with Oprah's Lady O.
She's coming out some light.
She's coming out
with
a line of a block of food shows, and I told her she would be crazy not to have you, but you got to give me all your stuff right now, and it's like 9:00 at night.
Right.
So I'm like, oh shit, okay.
No problem.
Okay. And no, actually, I filmed OWN first, then I filmed Cake-a-Likes, but Cake-a-Likes aired first. That's what happened. Okay. So I'm just like, okay, you know, cool. So I send everything in. She calls back the next day. She's like, yeah, lady. Oh, she loved it, Tregaye. We're actually going to start filming your show very soon in the next month. Okay. So I said, oh, shit. Okay. So we start filming. In that moment, though, even though I had Cake-a-Likes and that was a fun show and it was great, it was my first hosting show. Yeah. But I kind of felt like, okay, yeah, but, you know, Oprah got me first. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I wanted Food Network to be that first moment for me.
But nobody's Oprah.
But they waited. You know what I mean? Anyway, so.
They were asleep.
Yeah, so.
They were asleep. And they didn't wake up till.
So when she said, we going over the names of the show, because now this show is my show with my recipes, my real friends. Everyone you see on this show is my real friends, my real family. Yes. My recipes that I wrote. Because for years, you know, the network wouldn't let me do my own. They would write the recipes and then I would just have to cook them like it's my recipe.
Right. So which a lot of people don't know that about. Yeah. About
so y'all be looking at
shows.
us like, yeah, what's that nasty shit she cooking? Listen,
those are not our recipes. We're just showing up. We're just doing
what
they told us to do. We're just doing what they told us to do.
I know that I'm making a sandwich cake right now made out of deli meat and cream cheese, but this is the job.
This is where the check is.
Right. So, you know, from there, we're like, we're going to name the show. And then it was the moment when they came back and they were like, okay, we came up with the name for the show. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, what is it? And they was like, Tregaye's Way. I don't know. For me, it was like a full circle moment. Right?
I mean, it's from
everything.
Network.
From the beginning, from school, from getting told notes, from there, from going and getting on my own, to
the
going
biggest,
to college,
the biggest black girl, the biggest black woman.
Yeah, to getting to corporate, to doing this, to doing that. Then after that, leaving the network, winning the show, getting pushed aside a little bit from that, then getting my own stuff, then having them make me do stuff. And then from there, it's like, now I get to finally have it. Yeah. Tregaye's Way. And this beautiful black woman saw that in me and decided to name my show Tregaye's Way. It was the biggest moment for me. To this day, it's the biggest moment of my life.
I can tell.
I could just have it my way. I really have it my way. And now it's airing on Discovery Plus. Tune in so you can watch that. Season 1 and Season 2.
Tune into the game. Okay, but wait, before we move on from there, I also noticed, because I was tuned in, that your son, your youngest son, he's like a little star. Yes. And he really loves to cook. Do you think he's gonna follow in your footsteps in that way?
Absolutely. We're working on it now. We're working on Z's World.
Okay.
I'm practicing
Young
with
black
him
man
right now because I have to practice with his patients.
Legacy work.
Yeah, he loves to do it, but you know, the filming world is a little difficult.
He's still a kid.
So I want him to do it, but I want him to want to do it. So we're starting to like just do it, record on days he wants to record. Right. We're creating a collection.
Well,
and then
it's
add them
always
all
different.
up.
I try to tell people, even the people that want to cook for real, it's like it's different when you're cooking for fun and when you turn your passion to profit. Then it's just not really fun anymore.
Right.
And then your oldest son, he's kind of more behind the camera. And so, do you think he's going to take his photography or videography seriously, or is he still just kind of trying to figure it out?
He just started college at Southern Hampton University.
Southern U?
For filming and
photography. We love it.
I said, boy, I done bought thousands of dollars. Girl, we got so much equipment at the house.
You better do something with it.
These same lights y'all got in here, the cameras, all that. I'm like, what in the hell are you going to do? Are you going to do something with this?
Right,
stuff?
please.
You made
this
me spend
investment
all this money.
is made.
And he's like, well, I don't know how to do this. And can you teach me? I said, I don't do this. Not
you got to learn.
You need to go to school. So initially, I would try to put him with mentors and stuff.
Right.
But, doing that is very difficult because, when he's going to work with them, they're in the field. They're working.
Right.
They can't keep stopping and showing him stuff. So it's best for him to go to school. So he's doing that now, and he's getting great at that.
Okay.
And yeah, Zaire, he's a little ham. Zaire's pretty lit.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so, after a long day of cooking, right? What is your go-to thing to eat? A long day of cooking. What does that look like for you?
Buffalo wings with sweet chili sauce, lemon pepper, extra wet, extra crispy, blue cheese.
That's your go-to.
Yeah, if I just need to go grab something right quick.
No, but I mean when you get home.
Oh, if I need to get home.
Yeah, what is your go-to? Not ordering that.
I just cut some charcuterie, some cheese and meat.
Okay.
Up. I love to eat charcuterie.
Something simple. Get a little wine. Okay.
I always have some good cheese in my fridge, and I always have some good salami or prosciutto.
The grown-up lunchable.
Yeah. I keep good bread, even though my husband don't let me eat it all the time, but I keep good crackers, good meat and cheese on hand at all times at the house. So, and then it's quick,
And then when you're cooking in the kitchen, what are you listening to?
Wow, I listen to a lot of different things. I listen to Pastor Mike Todd sometimes.
Okay.
I listen to Sarah Jake. Sometimes I just like them to talk to me and keep me going through my day. Beyonce's a vibe always.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar's a vibe always.
Okay, so you keep it mixed up.
I just mix it up.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll listen to music, and sometimes I'll just have someone speaking to me. Joe Dispenza's amazing.
Okay,
I like
listening
to him for manifestation and rewiring my brain. I like to do that while I'm working. I just feel like I'm feeding my brain when I'm working.
Okay, so now that we've went over like the main course of your life, tell me about your dessert. What is this about the game tour? What is that, and why is it important to you?
Playing the Game Tour is a charity. It's a nonprofit.
Excuse me, Playing the Game Tour. That's my notes.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit, and we actually recently have partnered with Saving Our Daughters. And so what we do is I have a junior chef summer camp. And since pandemic, we've kind of stopped, but we're starting back next year. So I'm super excited about that. But what I do is we get a whole bunch of junior chefs together. We actually partner with Ron Clark Academy.
Okay.
And I get 4 weeks. Well, I only get 1 day a week to train them and teach them how to shop. Sprout sponsors us, and I take them to the grocery store and teach them about food costs. I teach them how to create a recipe. And then we go to Piedmont Cancer Wellness Center, and normally I do cooking demos.
Okay.
Well, this whole 3 weeks, they're practicing so they can do the cooking demo.
I love it.
And one of my girls, she's 14. She has at the time she was 14, she was a diabetic. So it's just really good to see the kids do it because
you're teaching them life skills that last a lifetime.
It was a woman. She had lupus, and I'll never forget this. I cry every year because I'm a sap for the kids. But this year I came in and she just was snarling, like literally just
crying.
She just looked angry.
Oh,
and,
upset. Okay.
So I'm like, it's okay. After this is over, she'll feel better.
Okay.
At the end of the class, she walked up to me and said, "Can I hug you?" And I said, "Sure." And she was crying and bawling. And she was just like, because first I thought she was just a Karen, but really she just wasn't feeling good.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, I never thought that I would be able to eat good food again. I was able to eat everything here. This class today changed my life.
Oh, we love it.
And I just want
that's why you do it.
And that's why I do it. Yeah. And I go to schools and I take different chefs and we talk to the kids. Mm-hmm. We talk to the ones that are going to college and we talk to the ones that may not want to go to college. It's fine either way. Okay. I tell them they don't have to go, but just know it's harder. Okay. Just know you got to put in a little more work. You can still succeed. you know, and we just try to speak life into those kids. So that's what it's about.
So, you know me. And I'm always about that bottom line. Y'all don't know, but I'm always about the money. So beyond you creating, okay, so when you do television, do you handle those contract negotiations yourself?
No.
So you got a lawyer, or do you have a talent agent?
I have a manager, and my management team comes with a lawyer. If you do not have a manager, first of all, make sure your manager is a manager, a real manager. Because that'll make or break.
Yes,
them taking your money. It's happened before. You know, make sure you got a real manager and management team. If you don't, you got to at least have a lawyer. I don't care if
a lawyer always, even if you're not in television.
If the contract seems small, I always have a lawyer read it, because you know that makes or break everything. When I first started off on Food Network, I was in contract jail for 5 years. Oh, I was just so excited about being on the show, and I just signed the paper. Yeah, that's what YouTube.
Contract jail means. You signed a shitty deal.
Yeah, I couldn't do YouTubes for 5 years. Yeah. Like, I wasn't even doing any work with them. I couldn't write a book.
Get a lawyer.
I couldn't do merch.
Get a lawyer. Yeah. And beyond in television, even as private chefs, even in anything,
have a contract.
You need a lawyer, and you set the tone, and really it prevents people from playing with you. It prevents people from playing with you. Even when people are like, well, you don't need a lawyer. What would you? Yes, I do. Yeah. And you saying that is you're being on a faulty side. So get a lawyer.
I've never had a contract that hasn't been redlined.
Redline, and a red line means just somebody
means
looked out.
Yeah, that my lawyer saw something on the page that didn't agree with either something that I have going on right now. It's a possibility it could ruin something that I would like to do in the future. And maybe the dollar ain't right or something like that. So they take that out, red line, and then they put in what they would like. And that's a part of the negotiations. It will go back to that person. That person will look at it. Maybe they'll redline it again and send it back with the final pieces. And then maybe you're like, okay, good, but let's change this last piece. And then that'll go back, and then that'll be the final. There's never a get the contract signed
and sign it,
and we're done.
You are never supposed to sign it right when they give it to
sign
you.
A contract.
Never, never.
For sure.
And so beyond that, because of the big boss that you are, you also handle contract negotiations for your catering company. And so tell me what that goes like. Like, how do you determine how much you're going to charge someone? Like, what factors go into that?
Knowing your food cost is super important, so that you're actually making money and we're not just guessing what the price is. So you're going to definitely know, like, if I'm doing 2 pieces of sausage and this case costs $60, how much should I sell 2 pieces of sausage
Break it down.
For? Right? Because that way you'll know that, okay, well, if I do that, I'm just making up numbers right now. So don't be trying to really calculate what I'm saying. I'm just throwing numbers out there. But let's just say if you have that right, and it's like, okay, out of those 63, in a case it's 63. So that means I'm paying $1 a sausage, right? Let's just say I'm paying $1 a sausage. So how much can I sell these for? I could sell the sausage for about $3, $4, $5. I'm gonna make my money back. Okay, cool. But if I didn't do that and I went and I said, oh, well, I could be nice and I can sell it for 79 cents. Now I'm in under my money. I'm not making money. I lose before I start, right?
First of all, there ain't no being nice in business, and
it's
you should
really
always
not.
make sure that you put your personal profit first.
That's the point. That's what I'm trying to say.
Your personal profit first. Otherwise, it's slavery.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
but that's just a piece of it. That's not even the whole thing.
You're gonna be overworked and undercharged.
Yeah, that's not even the whole thing. That's just the food cost, right? You always walk in the door with a set,
which is separate. Fee. Separate.
Food cost is separate.
Chef fee.
From a chef fee.
You don't do all in. All in is where you try to put it together. And then usually you only end up paying for the food costs and you don't work for free.
Yeah, even if it's just a delivery, I have a fee.
There's a fee for that.
Yeah. So you're gonna go anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000 just for a delivery. But that's just the fee. But that's not the food, the gas.
Tell them.
That's not how much I have to pay these employees to make the food.
What about the prep time?
That's what I'm saying, the prep time.
Yeah.
I have to pay somebody else because I'm busy, so I have to pay like 3 other people to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Because really, as a boss, you're not supposed to do everything yourself.
Yeah. And also, in order for your business to grow, you have to understand. I also, honestly, if I could do everything myself, I would. But I had to train myself. Even sometimes I'm available to do it. Right. But I just will utilize the staff. I always tell myself, utilize the staff, just because I'm training myself to understand, you can't do it all, you can't do it all, you can't do it all. It took me some time to get out of that because I was on my own for so long, and I didn't really like spreading it out to other people, and then I became a fallen hero because I would take on too much. I'm always gonna get it done, but man, I be tired as hell the next day and stressed. My head hurt, my feet hurt, my back hurt. It took a lot for me to get that done, and I was sick.
You're stressed.
And now, I can do an event
and you can't be happy
and make great money. No,
you can't be happy. You can't be happy working like that.
Yeah, you're
working
not happy. You're tired.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just started utilizing those people. So now you got that. So what I like to do is I'll send out a quote. A customer come to me and they say, "Hey, I'd like an event." And I'll say, okay, great. I have a few questions. I always send out my questionnaires. First things first.
So you got to have a questionnaire to send out to people.
And that questionnaire would begin with, our minimum is this.
Minimum.
For chef service fee.
Because if you ain't got it, we can't help you.
Yeah, our minimum chef service fee is this. You have to have a minimum. Whether it's $500 or $1,500, you have to have a minimum. And then it's like, okay.
1,000 or 2,10.
Yeah. Just depending on where you are in your
career, because everybody don't start at the end.
Yeah, we gotta be honest, right? We don't want to have them out there charging 1,000 and they ain't, we don't want to do them like that.
Okay. I'm just trying to get them to dream. But
bigger, I want them to. I want them
to see the bigger picture.
I want you to see the bigger picture, but I also want you to know where you are, right? I want you to know where you are. I want you to know where you are in your culinary career.
Put the work in.
I want you to be honest with yourself. Right? Are you great? Have you been having a lot of mistakes? Do you need more training?
More training.
Do you need to work with more people? Because you being honest with yourself with that, it's going to help you in your career. It's going to help you because if you lie to yourself, you're just losing money, right? Because now this person is going to tell that person how much you fucking sucked. And so now you're ruined.
You ain't going to work with the other people.
You're ruined before you started. So
you're
be honest with yourself.
Put a fork in her.
And say, hey, look, my minimum, if you're a lower end, like you're just starting, hey, my minimum is $500. You know what I mean? And I can do this. If you're a chef on our level, hey, my minimum is $3,000. My minimum is $1,500. You know what I mean?
First of all, I won't even talk to you unless you are a high profile client or somebody that I know is not wasting my time. I actually have to charge a $250 fee just for you to even talk to me.
For sure.
And it is a consulting fee because a lot of times people want to play. You ain't gonna play in my face, because what you're not understanding is if I took an hour or 45 minutes to talk to you, I could have probably made $1,000 somewhere else.
For sure.
So me saying $250, if that's outside of your mind or your budget, it's probably not gonna go anywhere. But that's where that key line is. The minimum budget to work with me is this. But I always try to let people know, like, you can't even have a consult with me for free. I don't do that.
For sure.
Unless I want to.
Right. And unless you want to, and that'll be,
well, but people don't know about this unless we articulate it, I feel like.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
It's true. And you know what?
But what a contract is really supposed to look like. That you pay that, if they want delivery, there's a fee for that. If they want a buffet setup, there's a fee for that. If I'm bringing in my own equipment, there's a fee for that. Because all of that is time and labor.
And if you need help writing a contract, there are many avenues. Rocket Lawyer is amazing. Fill in the blanks.
So that's a good resource.
Rocket Lawyer is amazing. You need a
repeat
contract.
That.
Rocket Lawyer. It's called Rocket Lawyer. No, they don't pay me, but they're
Get
great.
your Googles
and I think that you guys
on.
should use them. They don't pay me, but I think you should use them. Literally, it's a list of different contracts you may need: catering, barber, makeup, whatever you need. And then you'll click that, and then literally you'll click what state you need the laws to abide by, and it'll literally create a mock-up for you, and then you put your information in, and at the end you have a legally binding contract. That's binary by the laws of your state,
but still get a lawyer.
And you can still get it. I mean,
for the bigger contract,
if you're making a contract, they're gonna need a lawyer for you.
Yeah,
you
for a bigger contract.
If you're creating, but if a contract is coming to you, you need a lawyer.
That's the difference.
Yeah, if a contract is coming to you, you need a lawyer. If you're creating a contract, Rocket Lawyer is fine. They can do whatever they need to do. You let them spend their money on that lawyer situation. But other than that, just making sure you're stern with it. And when you do your quote, just give them two options. I always give them 2 to 3. I try to do like a silver, a gold, and a platinum. Right. And then, you put the prices on there and that's it.
Well, because ultimately, you do want to make that money.
For sure. And then what you do is, what I like to do is, I'll give them a good old breakdown. So I put the menu, my silver, gold, platinum, right? But then at the top, per server, $225 for 2 hours. Bartender this price, chef service fee this price.
Because a lot of times,
crew,
clean up, please this don't price, clean up on your own.
So now they know that these are separate,
right?
And this is the food, because food cost is a motherfucker. You know how much eggs are, so like you gotta get that. This is the food, and this is how much it costs for me to buy the food, cook the food, and make a profit,
right?
And then this is how much it costs for me to pay these people. Would you like a server or bartender?
So the important thing is to always make sure that you send somebody an actual breakdown.
You have to send
a ballpark breakdown too.
It's
I
always
always
a
say
ballpark.
plus or minus, because sometimes it's going to go over and sometimes it might be a little bit under, you know? And that's going to be great for all of us, because then you're going to see that I saved you some money. I'm going to show up and do an amazing fucking job and blow your mind.
And a beautiful suggestion is always great for you caterers out there, because sometimes we'll get stuck making shitty food because it's like the client maybe didn't know what they wanted, and they had a dream last night that they wanted nachos and steak at a, you know, gourmet like event. So
and it just doesn't really go.
You may offer them that, but then at the bottom you're going to say, hey, well, also, you know,
this or this.
We do these nice, beautiful tables for $2,000. I think you'll love it. Here's some photos. People are always wowed by this. And you'll upsell yourself. They'll buy it.
See, but the thing is,
you let them know they needed it. They didn't even know they needed it.
You educate your clients, because sometimes your clients don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know.
Just like sometimes you don't know. And that's why it's important that you educate yourself.
You just got to educate yourself. So I say all that to say, you know, because I know we're always advocating, right, for the chefs out here. Get more money. Get more money. I
always am with get qualified first.
I'm with it, right, but get qualified
all of you ain't
first.
Chefs.
Because some people is out here charging prices and
showing up doing
crazy.
Horrible work, and then you're messing it up for all of us.
Yes, man. You're messing it up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So just be honest with yourself. Don't be like, you know, just humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to learn more. You need to learn more. It's
then beyond that, to wrap the financial conversation up, how do you determine how much you're going to pay someone? What factors go into that?
Skill set. So
they got to show you first.
No, by their resume. Where have you worked? What have you done? You do actually, yes, you have to show me first. My chefs, when they come and work for me, I'll have them come visit me one day and just do something
Do a trial.
Just do something light.
Do a little trial.
You know, nothing too crazy.
Go to the store, grab these few things.
Do these things. I'll put them on something. Come here. Hey, I just need you to work with me here. Just light. And I'll inform them that this is a training. You know, and we don't really pay for training because I shouldn't be paying you to teach you, right? So this is
free game is going to take you a long way.
This is just a training day, and then I'll just have them come in and shadow me for the day, and then once I see like, okay, you know, $18 an hour,
okay, and then what do you consider
25?
What do you know? Is that high for you? 25?
25 is high an hour.
Yeah.
But you got to be worth it. It's some
I always overpay people. Me and her, she tells me all the time.
She overpays people all the time. I'm just like, that's fucking crazy to me. Like, you know, $18 an hour is how much like that's a good price, you know, for a regular prep cook. Yeah. That's fucking great, $18 an hour. Right. $20 an hour, like you're an experienced chef and you better be able to like really, like I better be able to leave, go to the bathroom, walk around the corner and grab a deli sandwich. And you better still be able to keep this shit rocking for anything over $20. Right. And if you can't do that, 18 me down. It's 18.
So, but then give us...
It's 18.
Give them...
Like, what?
So then give them an idea of, as a private chef, when you're first starting out, what should your salary look like? And then after, give them the platinum, the gold, and the bronze. And then I think we didn't gave them enough money, gang.
I don't know. That's kind of hard, too, because, I mean, I've done private stuff for 30 people for $20,000. Mm-hmm. And I've done private stuff for 20 people for $5,000.
But usually, but honestly, to me, like for me, I kind of have a minimum of I at least need to get $1,200. If you're not talking about $1,200, $2,000 for the day.
At least 12, at least $1,500. I'm not rolling out of the bed for if it's not at least $1,500. I'm not even gonna open my eyes in the morning.
So, but that's where we're at now. So, but when you first got in, like on an average for a private chef breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what were you cooking at for a day?
About 500.
You were making 500 out the gate.
500.
That's actually really well because a lot of times people are starting out at about 250. 300.
Yeah, no, I was hitting it because I was coming from fine dining, so I knew how to I had game. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I mean, I started.
You had game, and you also had education.
And I had education. I started my very first consulting job. Mm-hmm. Bitch, I ain't never consulted a day in my fucking life. Right? This lady come up to me. She say, "Hey, that's why you can make your own future." She say, I'm from Miami and I want to open this restaurant. I want it to be like Cuban, but like Miami and da 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 da. So I'm like, okay, cool. And she was like, we got a $25,000 budget for consulting, but we need you to just we already got the building. It's pretty much decked out. We just need you to help us with the menu and hiring staff and training staff. Bet, I got this. I know how to do this. Oh, yeah, and we need you to help us pass health inspection. No problem. In my mind, I'm like, I worked in hotels for over 20 years. We had pass health inspection every month. Like, this is easy.
Right.
So, I went and educated myself a little bit more. I signed that contract.
Okay.
And I went and educated myself a little bit more and did the work. And I got 3 more consulting jobs after that. But I had never did it before. So, if I just said I couldn't do it because I never do it, I would have shit on myself. I would have been $25,000 lesser richer, you know what I mean, if that makes any sense. But so you just gotta
and you created a new way to get that money,
and I created a new stream of revenue. I'm still doing it to this day. I love
Secure it.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to open a spot now, but for the longest I was like, shit, I like this consulting shit too much. Like, I don't want to have to.
I don't even need the responsibility,
right? But
let
now
me get
I'm
that
ready.
consulting bag.
So we opening 2 spots. Miss Lounge, which is gonna be off Ralph David Abernathy. I don't want to tell you when we're gonna be open because that is a whole nother conversation. Them rehabs.
Well, we don't need dates.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
We don't need dates.
And then the other restaurant, but I ain't gonna tell you the name of this restaurant till it's open because it's that exclusive.
So before we wrap this up, I do want to briefly acknowledge the fact that you've actually went through a complete body transformation. Can you tell me how much weight you've lost, or where you started?
I don't even know, girl. I probably lost about 45
I feel like you lost a body.
Yeah.
I feel like you lost a body.
Pounds. I think so. About 45 pounds, maybe. I stopped. At first, I used to didn't get on the scale because I just felt like it was the devil. But my husband started making me get on the scale. He said, you have to,
So your losses and gains and what's working for you and what's not.
Yeah.
And so, did you change your diet and stuff like that?
Yeah, I changed my diet. To the point, I don't have a diet.
It's a lifestyle change. Yeah. I always try to say, because I feel like when you say diet, it has a negative connotation. Yeah. And it also has an expiration date.
Yeah. My life is an intermittent fasting.
I love it.
That's how I live my life every day.
I
eat whatever I want, but I just
don't
eat between.
Eat until after 11 a.m. I only start with celery juice in the morning.
And I don't eat after 8.
I love it. I don't eat after 7. Yeah. I feel that.
I do the 7 sometimes when I'm really trying to go there, but on my everyday average basis, I won't eat after 8, and I don't eat until 11. So but I eat what I want, pretty much.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap it on up for my chefies out there, what are 3 things that either you would tell your younger self or that you would want to tell anybody trying to get into either the private chef industry or crossover into television?
Just be yourself and be who you are. Believe in yourself, bet on yourself, learn where you feel like you don't understand. Just know you can understand. You just have to want to do it, right? And just keep going. Just know it's never going to be easy always.
You got to do the work.
We don't want it to be easy. If it's easy, we don't want it. I tell people, throw it back. If it's easy, I don't want it because, we would all be millionaires and billionaires if it was easy. I want to attain that goal, right? So you want to attain the bigger goals. Just fight through those things and educate yourself. Constantly educate yourself.
Don't be so quick to give up.
Yeah, don't give up. I just feel like that's my number one thing. Bet on yourself. Stand on that.
Stand on it.
You just have to. No, listen. If nobody else, your husband don't believe in you, your children don't believe in you, your mama, your daddy, your homegirls, it don't matter. You gotta believe. You got to believe. It's almost like magic. You got to believe it's a magic there when nobody else sees it.
Black girl magic is a real thing. I want you to know. I want you to know. Hear it clearly. You might see it right here. You know what I'm saying?
It is a magic. It's a
and so what's the third thing?
Let's see. The third thing is just, always bring your dreams from outside of your brain, put it on paper and bring it to life. Set yourself a timeline. I think a lot of times we speak about things, but we don't put it down and bring it out.
I told myself that 2023 is less talking, more doing. I'm just going to pop out with the shit done.
Yeah, just don't talk about
it. Just like my podcast. I'm just about to pop out with this shit done. I ain't telling nobody what the fuck I'm doing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And go train the right way because my husband is who got me fine. So
I love train the right way. So tell us tell us where we can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on social media at Chef Tregaye. You can also find me on my website, cheftregaye.com.
Where you sell?
Where I sell hot honey. I have a signature chef blade.
Nice.
Spices.
Get your spice on.
Aprons, hoodies.
She got that merch.
You know, my merch line is actually TregayesPlace.com. So you can hit up that and, you know, reach out to therightwayapparel.com for my husband because we're actually partnering up and he's doing the training and I'm doing the food.
And do you have any shows coming up?
Lives. I do have shows coming up right now. I'm actually starting to work on a new project, so I can't speak about the shows. But just stay tuned
know it's coming.
And keep watching me.
Support.
And supporting me. And just know when I do say the show is coming, mark it in your calendar to watch it, you guys. Like, go to Discovery Plus and still watch Tregaye's Way right now because that still is getting, the more streams that gets, it's shows on there right now that's like, they do well. But if one day they just pop out and do really good, that gets the attention of the networks and stuff. And then they will give me another show off the strength of that. So it doesn't matter how old the show is. Just watch it as many times as you can.
Man.
And support.
Chefies, tune into the game.
Yeah.
Check out Tregaye's Way.
And get that book, Kitchen Conversations with Chef Tregaye. It's on Amazon.
What don't you do? Black girl magic. Thank y'all for tuning in to Chefish.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.